Thank you, Chair Lotta, for holding this important hearing. Thank you, Energy Secretary Wright, and for being here to testify before the subcommittee and taking on this enormous challenge that we have before us at this such a time as this. During the last administration, our energy prices skyrocketed. In fact, if you were born after 1982, you had never experienced inflation greater than 2% in this country. So it was a great awakening. And a lot of that was costly regulations that made energy costs higher for our constituents. I'm glad to have an administration in the White House that's focused on unleashing our domestic energy production and focusing on being energy dominant. Free market competition is the only way to reduce inflation and to reduce cost. I'm proud to highlight that my district is home to Plant Vogtle, the nation's largest and most advanced clean energy nuclear facility, with units 3 and 4 now fully operational. Nuclear energy is critical for our nation's energy security, and as the Trump administration has issued executive orders promoting nuclear energy, I look forward to working with you and deploying our nuclear energy capabilities. President Trump's Unleashing American Energy executive order directed the Department of Energy to safeguard the American people's freedom to choose from a variety of goods and appliances in lieu of these mandates from the previous administration. Congress aided by repealing several Biden final rules that would have restricted consumer choice. Under your purview, how has the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy refocused on core missions?
Yes, we are refocused on core missions. And in fact, I was down in your great state not long ago celebrating the fact that a tankless natural gas hot water heater manufacturing company was not shut down.
Right.
It would have been shut down if the Biden rule had gone into place. That's providing the most popular, low-cost, efficient way to heat water, but was deemed not worthy by the government, removing a choice and raising up the price at which people would buy hot water heaters. So I'm about choice and opportunity.
Well, thank you. Thank you for advocating for us there. Under the Energy Policy and Conservation Act, DOE is required to review energy efficient standards of covered products no later than 6 years after the issuance of a final rule. Has this led to the weaponization of EPCA, with the previous administration using it as a tool in its anti-fossil energy agenda? As this administration evaluates energy efficiency standards in the future, how will DOE prioritize consumers' affordability and the letter of the law?
Yeah, so number one, the constraint is to follow the letter of the law. You know, and EPCA is a law. I might say unfortunately, but it's the law. So we have to work around that constraint. But yes, it has been weaponized to bring in all sorts of different devices or things people might use and decide that Big Brother, the government, should decide how they heat themselves on their outdoor patio or their hot tub or every other part of their life. I think this is just the perfect example of government run amok and getting involved in choices that are going to be made differently by different people.
Yeah, and I think we heard that loud and clear. The American people want choice. OPEC Plus, mostly steered by Saudi Arabia, recently agreed to the third monthly hike in a row, driving oil prices lower as the cartels aim to reclaim their share of global markets. I'm concerned that OPEC Plus is not just managing supply from member countries, but that there is a strategic and geopolitical intent that is detrimental to U.S. producers. We've got about 40 seconds. You and subsequently President Trump recently visited the Middle East. It is great to see the Secretary of Energy promoting U.S. energy on the global stage again. Can you tell us more about the conversations that took place related to global oil markets? And I need to do that in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, well, two main topics were discussed. The huge amount of capital they developed, their goal is to invest as much of that as possible in the United States into our energy infrastructure and other industries in our country, and we welcome that investment. And we discussed a decadal-long outlook for demand for energy. just trying to base in reality what investments are needed today to supply energy demands a decade, 2 decades, 4 decades from now. There was almost zero dialogue on today's oil prices or supply and demand in the short run.
Good. Thank you, sir, for your service to our country, and I yield back.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you.
gentleman's
Thank
time
you.
has expired, and the chair now recognizes the gentleman from New Jersey's 8th District for 5 minutes.